You're about to listen to a Metal Express Radio exclusive interview. Head on over to metalexpressradio.com for our latest rock and metal interviews. And while you're there, check out our web radio, read our reviews, and rock and metal news. Enjoy the interview.
Hey, this is Mick Burgess, and I'm now backstage at the other rooms in Newcastle with Phil Campbell from the Temperance Movement. Hi, Phil. How are you doing?
Hi there, man. How are you doing?
Doing great, thanks. You're partway through your latest UK tour. How have the shows been going so far?
Yeah, they've been going really well. We've just started, really. We've done Liverpool, Glasgow, Ullapool, and tonight it's Newcastle.
Yeah. Is this going to be the biggest run of shows you've done to date in your career?
Oh, definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And have you noticed the crowds are getting bigger each time you come back on the tour?
I have to. It's been really great. The response has been great. You know, there was a load of people hanging around the record store today when we went to sign a record. There were, you know, that was a great thing to see.
Was that Reflex Records around the corner?
Reflex.
Oh, yes, yeah. Good store. That, like a good old-fashioned record store.
Yeah.
Because earlier this week you released your debut album.
We did.
You must be thrilled with the reviews that you've received so far. You got 9 out of 10 at Classic Rock.
We couldn't be happier. We're having a great time reading these reviews and you know, and getting them on email and seeing what folk are writing about us. It's great.
Yeah, and according to the midweek chart, you were heading for the top 10. Do you know where your final?
I don't know. I don't know where that is. I don't know. We've been talking about it all week. I don't know what it is now.
I think they give it out about 7 o'clock. The chart rundown, so
right.
You might find out soon.
Yeah.
Because the album was recorded fairly quickly in today's terms. How long did you spend in the studio?
There was 4 days of tracking in a place called the Fish Factory in Wilson in London. It's West London, and. Then we couldn't carry on. You know, we'd love to have sort of gone on and then sort of mixed it, but we had to sort of delay that, and it was mixed over the next few months. And then it was finalised with the package and everything.
Yeah, because was it important to you to sort of capture the live vibe in the studio rather than spending week upon week going over the same notes over and over again?
Yeah, completely. Because the songs, some of the songs had already been demoed, and so we didn't really want to sort of take too much time over them, doing them again. So it was the pressure the time pressure that we had was very good for us, because it meant that we were sort of rushing through things and getting a take done. We had 2 or 3 takes on each. We did it on tape. We only had about half an hour on a tape reel, and you could get 2 or 3 takes on each. Then you had to scrub it and then start over. So there was some. We put some limitations in place so that we wouldn't fanny around.
Yeah. So it's the good old-fashioned way of doing it on tape and everybody in the same room together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What were you hoping for when you first went into the studio? What was your aim with the record?
To make something that sounded authentic and like we sound like we sounded, and feel that like it felt in the rehearsal room situation. So I wanted to feel the weight of the drums, and I wanted those guitars to chime out, and I wanted to hear it all just the way that it was in the rehearsal room. Just nice and.
Because you've been getting some good coverage for quite a while on the likes of Planet Rock, which is quite unusual for a band that didn't have a record out. I mean, you must have been quite excited that you were building up ahead of steam quite so soon in your career.
They've been so good to us, and they gave us a great break by playing that. And I would say that the Planet Rock listeners are the first people really that got into us and started to sort of flock into us and tell us they heard us in Planet Rock, and then we started to build our audience from there. There was, up until that point, it had really just been friends and friends of friends that would come and see us time and again at Water Rats and places like that in London. But Planet Rock took us to a wider audience, and we met a lot of people through that.
Yeah. So at those recording sessions, how many songs did you record in total for the album?
We had 16 songs to record. I think there's 2 of them that didn't make the record, or maybe one of them that didn't make the record, but all of them were recorded in 4 days.
Yeah. Because there's 12 on the regular record, and there's a couple of bonus ones with different.
On a vinyl, there's 2 extras. Yeah.
Because 5 of the songs on the album were on your first EP. Did you re-record those, or did you use the
No, we didn't re-record any of that. The same mixes and the same recordings.
Yeah, because your bassist Nick was in Jamiroquai. He's also, I think he helped out with Deep Purple, so he's got a lot of experience in the studio. Did having Nick in the band sort of give you a bit of confidence on the recording side of things?
Nick Fyffe was, at the time, he just finished playing with Deep Purple, and I think it was really, we all thought that was very, very cool.
Yeah.
You know, he's also a bit of an international, playboy. He knows a lot of people, and he has a lot of stories to tell. So yeah, we love having Nick in the band.
Yeah, because how did you first get together as a band? Because you're from Glasgow and the rest of the lads are from down south.
Well, the connection is London, because we've all lived in London. I lived in London through my 20s. I lived there for about 13 years, and Damon's obviously from Sydney, the drummer, and he has lived in London probably he moved at the same sort of time as I did. But yeah, Luke and Paul and Nick are all London boys. And just before I left London in 2009. Just before I left there, I'd met Luke and we'd gone out for some tea, and he talked about this band. But I'd made plans to move to Glasgow, and so I had to go. So it was about 2 or 3 years past until he sort of got back to me. But which time I was like, yeah. When do we start? You know.
And so what do you each bring musically to the band? I mean, you've got such a bluesy voice. Have you got the blues side of things, or who brings what?
I think I was kind of, I have a voice that can be quite raspy and loud, and that really was what I'm able to do in the Temperance Movement. But up until that point, it hadn't really fit in any other thing. But this is what the boys, Luke and Paul, liked about what I was doing. And it seemed just right, to do that. That kind of voice I heard in Gary Stewart from Reef, Chris Robinson from the Black Crows, Eddie Vedder, and people like this. These were, in my opinion, folk that could proper sing.
Yeah. Actually, on the ballads, Lovers and Fighters, which you've just soundchecked there, I think you got a hint of Ed from Live. Do you remember a band called Live?
Yes.
A bit of that on the sort of more quiet stuff.
Aye. You try and do different types of. You can't always sing like that. You can't always sing like Rod Stewart.
So the Temperance Movement was a movement that wanted to ban alcohol back in the 1800s. Why did you pick that as the name for the band? Simply because it sounded like the old Crow Medicine Show or the Creedence Clearwater Revival. It was suggested to me by my friend who just said, "What about the Temperance Movement?" I just thought it sounded lovely. It made me think of a sort of a big band, a big sort of old style band, there's and the irony of a rock band being called that was quite funny.
Yeah, I thought. So.
You all like a beer or two.
Of course we do, but it's business. It's business on the road, and then we do whatever.
Because you signed to Earache Records, which is the home of the likes of Bolt Thrower and Extreme Noise Terror, Napalm Death. You're quite unique to that label.
Well, we're more a sort of retro throwback style, I think, which was different to what they'd signed. But I'd never heard of Earache Records. I'd never really paid much attention to record labels, to be honest. I know there's a lot of people that really matters, but I didn't know what they were. I got it. Dan from the label says to us, he says, "Look, here's my label. Here's what I've signed in the past, and we want to sign something different. We want to do something different." And it took a few conversations, but they're good people. They're
doing a good job. There's a lot of press out there for you.
Aye, they've done a great job, and they work together with us because it's an independent deal. So, we sit around the table and we decide what we're going to do,
Yeah. Who did you get in to produce the record, or did you do that yourselves?
We have been blessed with 2 guys, Sam and Charlie Miller, who are brothers. And Sam recorded with us and produced and mixed our album. His brother came in at the same time and started recording our rehearsals and recording videos for us, and one of which was a video for Only Friend, which was produced. The sound was produced by Sam, and the video was produced by Charlie, and it went out and it just started getting lots and lots of views. And after we played Albert Hall, we got and Planet Rock into that video got lots and lots of views. And And when we went in to record the album, we used the same guys again. You know.
Yeah. I mean, with the buzz that's sort of, whirring around the band at the moment, you're going to get a lot of great offers to tour with some major label bands. Is there anybody you've got your eye on that you'd really like to go out on the road with?
You know what? If it's a case of getting the word about it, I really don't mind who it is. I'd love to go out on the road and see the world. That's always the dream. I think from just now, Queens of Stone Age. Give me a Queens of Stone Age tour. Give me a Foo Fighters tour or something like that. I don't know. I love. A band that sounded like us or a bit like us would be cool.
Because bands like Blackstone Cherry, Rival Sons, and Hailstorm have toured. They've toured with everybody and they've played a lot of varied audiences. Is that what you hope to do? Sort of get out and play to as many.
Yeah, now's the time just for us to go out and play and put our point across and shake hands and kiss the babies, and that's what we're doing just now.
So after your run of UK shows are over, where do you head next?
We've got some UK dates that end in a week or so, and then we're going to Europe. We are going to Sweden again, and Germany, and France, and Spain, and Italy, and Holland as well, Luxembourg. We're going everywhere, and then we come back, and we're going to do after we come back. We do some more UK dates until the end of November, and then it's a break for us.
Yeah, run into Christmas, and then 2014. Any plans?
There's going to be more touring again. The minute Christmas is over and all of that, we'll be back to tour again, UK, Europe.
So it's going to be albums out, lots of touring, busy times ahead.
Yeah, well, that's how long it takes, and that's what Bruce Springsteen did. He toured constantly for 5 years with Born in the USA and all that, and he became known because of that. Because he played everywhere, and we're no afraid of getting out and playing, and it's exciting to be doing it because we've all played music for years, but it's never been this.
Yes.
So now that we've all got this in place, we're happy. Yeah. For me, the Glasgow show's out the way. I'm happy. It's all gravy for me for here on.
You're on the crest of big things, so best luck with the rest of the tour. The album's fantastic, and all the best for the future.
Thank you so much, man. Cheers.
You've just listened to a Metal Express Radio exclusive interview. Head on over to metalexpressradio.com for our latest rock and metal interviews. And while you're there, check out our web radio, read our reviews, and rock and metal news.